Even your friendly critics, n. Korea, says that what you have on the ground now is not going to be enough.
ISIS is honoring President Obama. He is the founder.
What we have not yet been able to do is to completely decapitate their command and control structures.
On the topic of terror, a stunning admission by President Obama claiming he never knew about the ISIS threat during the group's early days.
The rise of the Islamic State surprised you. It took you by surprise. It took the administration by surprise.
The ability of ISIL to initiate major land offensives, that was not on my intelligence radar screen.
Not on his radar screen? Really? Even after being warned by his predecessor, President George W. Bush, about the consequences of pulling U.S. troops out of Iraq.
Begin withdrawing before our commanders tell us we are ready would be dangerous.
Now at 11, the mother of all bombs, the most powerful non-nuclear explosive America has ever used, dropped on ISIS.
This is the first time the U.S. has ever used the more than 20,000-ton mother of all bombs.
And it may be part of a statement to North Korea's young dictator. Seen in this 2003 test, the mother of all bombs is dropped from an aircraft using a parachute to drag it out of the cargo bay. The sled detaches and the bomb falls to Earth, guided by a GPS system designed to be accurate within 10 yards. The bomb was dropped on ISIS forces in Nangarhar province in the eastern region of Afghanistan near the Pakistani border.
For the first time, hitting the Taliban where it hurts, targeting the drug labs that double as money machines for the insurgency. F-22 stealth fighters and B-52 bombers dropped 2,000-pound bombs to obliterate heroin refineries, one cooking 50 barrels of drugs, according to the Pentagon. The top commander in Afghanistan, General John Nicholson, says the airstrikes deep in Taliban territory were only the beginning.
So now we're going to strike them in these areas, and then we're going to work with the Afghan army as they go on their offensive operations in the spring to expand control into these areas.
It's all part of President Trump's new Afghanistan strategy, including an additional 3,000 troops. Before their arrival, America's longest war was at a stalemate. The new goal, bolster the democratically elected government and bomb the Taliban to the negotiating table. Military officials here say the Taliban didn't make any significant gains last year, but the group still controls about 40% of the country. Afghanistan had a bumper opium harvest this year, an increase of 87%, leading potentially to cheaper heroin on America's streets.
We targeted a system of tunnels and caves that ISIS fighters used to move around freely, making it easier for them to target U.S. military advisors and Afghan forces in the area.
Pentagon sources told CBS News the bombing mission had been in the works for months, and General John Nicholson, the commander of U.S. forces in Afghanistan, had to get permission to use the weapon.
Did you authorize it, sir?
Everybody knows exactly what happened, and what I do is I authorize my military. We have the greatest military in the world, and they've done a job as usual, so we have given them total authorization.
Today, Raqqa is in the hands of U.S.-backed forces in Syria. ISIS is being rolled back. The successes, as the president promised, have been incredible, particularly compared to the passivity of the previous administration and its campaign against ISIS, such as it was.
I think that's right. I mean, President Trump took the gloves off. There were so many restrictions on our operations in Iraq and Syria, and it made a real difference against ISIS. Now, we're not going to hear this on other networks.
What do you think when you hear someone like Ben Carson get up in debate and say, hey, this would be easy? We can take ISIL out just by bombing their oil fields near Anbar. That's what the general told him.
Yeah. What I think is that he doesn't know much about it.
Now at 11, the mother of all bombs, the most powerful non-nuclear explosive America has ever used, dropped on ISIS.
What I think is that he doesn't know much about it.